who used to be the former majority leader of the House and whatnot. And now this woman, who is one of the most despicable women in Congress, I can't stand this lady. This is from 2020, when through investigations and some good people who saw there was some wrong going on, they were trying to oust it, and they made the link to Soros back then. Check this clip out. Soros back then. Check this clip out.
The document reportedly came to the attention of U.S. intelligence officials from Dutch intelligence. It included discussion of an email exchange between former DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Leonard Bernardo, an official with Open Society Foundations run by George Soros. According to the Times, Wasserman Schultz allegedly told Bernardo that then Attorney General Loretta Lynch would not charge Clinton with a crime for having the private email server. Wasserman Schultz and Bernardo have both denied even being in contact with each other, suggesting the document was a fake attempt by the Russians to throw a wrench into the U.S. intelligence community. A spokeswoman for Bernardo sent me a statement today. I want to read part of it. Quote, Bernardo has never spoken with or corresponded with Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz in any fashion. The email mentioned is fictitious disinformation. The document...
All right, now, you just heard that, right? It said that Debbie Wasserman Schultz communication with Leonard Bernardo, the individual, never... If you're really enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a super chat or a cash out. You hitting that like button, it helps get the information out there, and we appreciate it. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And if you're already subscribed or just subscribing today, make sure that you hit the notifications and you turn on all, because YouTube has been having issues with the notification. But if you subscribe and turn on all, that way you'll be notified when I upload new videos.
Here's the Good Brother channel here for those who want to go over there and subscribe to his channel. I told y'all when I share people content, it's a right that you share their channel. You understand me? Continue.
Society, which is ran by George Soros. But in this next clip, I'm going to show you how that's a flat-out lie, and now we have the evidence to prove it. This man right here is the gentleman they talk about, Leonard Bernardo. This is the individual who works directly for George Soros and the Open Society that Debbie Wasserman Schultz said that she had no communication with. But right here are the emails between Leonard Bernardo and members of the Hillary Clinton team and others. Check this out, right here. Obama has no intention to darken the final part of his presidency and legacy by the scandal surrounding the main contender from the DP. To solve the problem, the president puts pressure on FBI Director James Comey through Attorney General Lynch. However, so far, without concrete results. So as we see, these are the emails right here. Preferential treatment of donors of the Clinton Foundation caused a significant negative reaction inside the party. There they go, catering to those billionaires again. At the same time, the leadership of the Democrat Party has known about the information since June of 2015. According to Wasserman Schultz, FBI so far does not have persuasive evidence against Hillary Clinton because of the timely deletion of relevant data from email servers. So again, they know about what's going on. Comey gravitates towards Republicans and apparently intends to prolong the investigation so that the scandal would keep going until the presidential election to jeopardize the chances, okay? So let's get in this here. So right here, Barack Obama sanctioned the use of all administrative levers to remove possibly negative effects from the FBI investigation of cases related to the Clinton Foundation and the email correspondence and Hillary Clinton and her email exchange as far as covering up the thing that happened with her emails and the deletion, and also the exchange as far as what's going on and how they're going to set up President Trump. DNC predicts a certain Clinton victory in the current presidential campaign. The impressive result, Donald Trump. A two-pronged Democratic Party opposition is focused on discrediting Trump. Among other things, the Clinton staff, with support from special services, is preparing scandalous revelations of business relations between Trump and the Russian mafia. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil on the fire. Wow. I mean, let's read this other part. Outcome is far from clear as Americans are more keen on their own woes, and Hillary is hardly good looking as far as credibility is concerned. Anyway, things are ghastly for U.S.-Russian relations. And you see and you see Lenny? There's Lenny's name. So for them to say, oh, no communication with Leonard Bernardo is a lie. This is redacted. Also received from TI a slightly different versions of this email. This version includes a statement that later the FBI will put more oil into the fire and contains an added sentence. Another one from Leonard Bernardo. So Bernardo, who works for Soros Foundation, working hand in hand with the Clinton team and Obama to create this storyline that Trump is working with the Russian mafia. And what they do, they try to say, well, you know, the fact is we did have evidence that Russia was tampering with the election. Man, almost every country on the planet tries to influence American elections in some way. But these people who were doing what the Democrats like to say was interfering, it was amateur hour. There was no changing votes. There was no hacking into the vote systems. There was no link to President Trump. Now, Hillary Clinton is desperate. And let me show you just how desperate she is. This woman had the audacity to go on TV, and not back then, now, after being exposed, and guess who she calls on to help her out as far as to be able to find more dirt, or to find dirt, period, on President Trump. This woman is treasonous and deserves to be locked up. Allegedly. You know, I just do that just in case somebody tries to trip. Gotta throw that allegedly in there. Check this out.
You know, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you. Media would richly reward you.
This woman is a psychopath. Now, I want you to look at even Rachel Maddow, who is an extreme leftist, far left. Look at her face when she mockingly says this. Just look at this. You can see even she's like, whoa.
Ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening.
Did you see her face? She said, oh my God, Hillary Clinton can't be trusted. We know that. But to go as extreme, to continue the propaganda and say, oh, since Russia's supporting the Republicans, how? President Trump has been blasting Putin over this Ukraine thing. There's no evidence of Putin supporting the Republicans. But she knows that the hammer is dropping on her. And so she literally, on television, even though nobody's hardly watching MSNBC, on TV, on Rachel Maddow's show, asked for China to step in to the election. Now, China's negotiating with America right now on tariffs. You think China's going to take a risk by doing what she wanted, knowing that Trump will slap tariffs on them that will destroy their country? Their economy is already really hanging on by a thread. But you heard it out of with your own ears and out of her mouth. Now, let's check out this report that goes more into what's going on with Clinton, Soros, and the documents.
Now we're talking about what they were communicating to each other. It's not just what seems obvious. Now it is what we can prove thanks to the declassifications from Tulsi Gabbard as DNI. And I think that this shows us that this was a soft coup attempt, that the whole thing was coordinated, and that the real collusion was Hillary, the media, and the intelligence community's deep state to try to oust or hobble Donald Trump.
And now the deep state is real. All of those people who thought that it was fake and that Trump was just exaggerating, he wasn't. So let's get into this article. Declassified documents reveal Clinton-approved plan to link Trump to Russia during 2016 campaign. Let me make this a little bigger for you to make sure you can see it. Newly declassified intelligence documents indicate that Hillary Clinton signed off on a strategy during the 2016 presidential election to tie then candidate Donald Trump to Russian interference efforts, a move allegedly designed to divert attention from scrutiny over her private email server. So this was all a part of covering up the 33,000 emails that she deleted and the servers that she broke and bleached. And when you bleach a server or a hard drive, there is no chance in whatever, HE double hockey sticks, that any information can be retrieved. This is after the emails have been subpoenaed. So after the subpoena, the hard drives were destroyed, the emails were deleted, ironically after an attack that happened in Benghazi where American servicemen and women passed away. And James Comey, remember, they came out and said, oh, there's nothing, she didn't do this intentionally, even though it is against policy to send classified documentation on a private email server. You're supposed to use government servers where it can be tracked and monitored. So why would Hillary Clinton be working in the dark? Because she was also coordinating her own diversion and propaganda coup on the newly incoming president, Donald Trump. He hadn't even won yet, and they were already coordinating this. It's crazy. The details come to light as part of Special Counsel John Durham's investigation into intelligence community activities surrounding the 2016 election cycle. According to the document, the initiative was intended to stir public perception by amplifying narratives suggesting that Russian President Vladimir Putin was backing Trump, and to equate this with direct interference in U.S. election systems. A memo from the release file states, Clinton approved the plan proposed by one of her foreign policy advisors, Julianne Smith, to smear Donald Trump by magnifying the scandal tied to the intrusion by Russian special forces in the pre-election process to benefit the Republican candidate, which we now know is totally false. As a matter of fact, reports show that Putin had information on Clinton that if she won, they were going to release. As a matter of fact, it was Putin and the Russians who released the information on Hillary Clinton to WikiLeaks. And if you remember, the left went after Julian Assange at WikiLeaks like a psycho, and they got him, and they locked him up. We can only hope that they didn't do some type of mind warp, and anybody that think it's a game that these folks in this deep state and that government don't have reprogramming tools where they put somebody in an insane asylum and say they're crazy and do all types of...
I say the COVID-19 jab has something to do with half these niggas going crazy, right? Now let's listen to the brother, what she was trying to come up with. And then all of a sudden, a pandemic hit, and they made people line up and take an experiment. Let's go.
Crap to their brain and the way that they think. If you think that's a joke, or if you think that that's some type of conspiracy theory, it is not. As a matter of fact, at one point, Hillary Clinton even called for the American people who supported Trump to go through a reprogramming. Seriously, she called for it. If I find that clip, I'm going to share it.
Very strong partisans in both parties in the past, and we had very bitter battles over all kinds of things, gun control and climate change and the economy and taxes. But there wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog of the Republican Party as it is today. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen. How do you...
Deprogramming. So when she say deprogramming, right?
What's that, the jab?
What are they talking about, ladies and gentlemen?
He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen. How do you...
Last month, when you called Margaret Sanger the founder of Planned Parenthood, a person whom you enormously admire, were stunning to me. Margaret Sanger clearly embraced bigotry and racism. She advocated for the elimination of the disabled, the downtrodden,
said blacks was like
and the
human
black
beings
child.
and need to be
In one of
exterminated.
her writings, she said, "Today, eugenics is suggested by the most diverse minds as the most adequate and thorough avenue to the solution of racial, political, and social problems."
Let me say, with respect to your comments about Margaret Sanger, I admire Thomas Jefferson. I admire his words and his leadership, and I deplore his unrepentant slaveholding.
Yeah, right.
I admire Margaret
Bitch, stop
Sanger
lying.
being a pioneer and trying to
Look at
empower
that
women
evil
to have
bitch.
some control over their bodies. And I deplore statements that you have referenced.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be back in Houston with so many friends and to have an opportunity to participate in the Planned Parenthood annual meeting. I have to tell you that it was a great privilege when I was
Under that
told
hood.
that I would receive this award.
You seen the shoes.
admire Margaret Sanger enormously.
We know.
Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
Colored people are like human weeds and need to be exterminated. Margaret Sanger quote. I admire Margaret Sanger. Hillary Clinton says. We know. Oh yeah. She gave that speech. It was the KKK gals. It's our girl Hillary Clinton. She admires this racist ass woman. There it is. Look at the shoes, y'all. One of them shoes, one of them hoods with shoes on, y'all. They female shoes, y'all? Or they male shoes, y'all? They female shoes or male shoes, y'all? Under them hoods. Is that Hillary Clinton under there, y'all? Is Hillary Clinton under there, y'all? Talk to me, y'all. Y'all think Hillary Clinton under them hoods, y'all? Look, y'all. They had them niggas out there capping for their own demise. I keep telling y'all this shit. These people had y'all out there capping for your own demise, man. Wake up. Wow.
Clan
Who we ran across, y'all?
1924.
They said Google it, right?
Democratic National Convention.
Need y'all to see this shit, man. I've been told y'all the KKK funded the Democratic Party. I've been said that shit. Ain't nothing changed either. Antifa.
Now that they, only thing changes is niggas under them hoods now. With batteries in their back.
Alright, y'all, we just Googled it. Alright, class, let's go.
Klan Bake 1924 at the Democratic Convention Center. There they go under the hoods. Who was under them hoods with them shoes on, y'all?
Them shoes again, y'all.
Where Hillary at, y'all? They came marching in that motherfucker storm.
Trying to put false on that. Nah, y'all been exposed to that shit. Wow.
They stormed up in that convention center with them hoods on. Not one there nigga was there. Turn around today, them niggas out there capping like a motherfucker for these
Democrats
motherfuckers.
created KKK. Wow. I kept telling them niggas, man, they ain't want to believe it though.
I
They
guess
want to tell you Donald Trump is Hitler when the whole time these motherfuckers
was being bamboozled by Hitler. You know what I mean?
pocketbooks and shit. Where so I'm sad. So where them lady females at now, y'all? The Hillary Clintons, that's who they are? Just get the facts for y'all.
Boo, the Democratic Convention of 1924, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what y'all come up with.
Look at here, huh? For the facts.